Welcome to the SMX Insider Post Race Show here in St. Louis, presented by Bass Pro Shops. Yes, the cheers, the applause, they're still going for Ken Roczen, back-to-back winner. Hasn't done that in 5 years.
Drink it up.
Enjoy the spoils, Kenny.
Yes, sir. How sweet it is. Yeah, he heard you. He said, yes, sir. Man, what a great job by the team.
Thank you.
They got some serious momentum going right now.
Chug, chug, chug.
Kenny's a fun guy.
Look, that kind of vibe, that feeling, that lets us in to the atmosphere. That Progressive Insurance X-Star Suzuki team. That's what it's about. This is a golden time in his career. That could very well have ended years ago through injury.
And he'll be 32 at the end of the season here. And just to think about that, like I would have never saw this coming 6 years ago, you know, because you think of guys like Chase Sexton and Jet Lawrence, and you know they've had some injuries, so it's helped these guys stay in it and continue to win and fight for a championship.
I was talking to Ricky Johnson earlier tonight before we came on the air, and he said, I think Roczen's getting close to us, isn't he? And Ricky, yes he is. Now he's just 1 away from Bob Hanna and 2 away from you, racking them up on all-time wins. And aren't we lucky to be living in this era?
Yeah.
To see what Tomac's done, to see Cooper Webb add to his legacy, and now it's Kenny's turn.
You know the thing, Diff, a lot is, you know, we talk to these people come up to you on the weekends, who do you think can win? And I feel like this time in the sport is a time that has ever been the most that you don't really know who's gonna win. Like I just use mine and Stu and Chad's days. One of us three were going to win.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, like you could put the bank on it. But now you just don't know, and it's all about the start. What's that going to look like?
Well, tonight was all about Love Moto Stop Cancer in conjunction with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's appropriate that Kenny wins because you have a chance to win his bike powered by Propeller. Yes, you can have that. All proceeds benefit St. Jude's. And you can get involved by texting Suzuki to 99126. Again, text Suzuki to 99126. So many important funds were raised last year with this. It was hugely popular. We'd love you to be involved again. Get amongst it. Text Suzuki to 99126 to help out St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. All right, Will, who have you found?
I found the man behind the man here, Lee. This is Billy Hartle, mechanic to Ken Roczen. Billy, you've been with Kenny through this whole journey here with the team on the bike now for 3 years with him, and you've just watched how this has just built and built into what we're seeing this season, what we're seeing tonight. From your perspective, what is it? What's the secret here? And I mean, he seems just incredibly happy and confident, so do the whole team. What's the secret?
Yeah, I think this year just coming into the season with a really good off season, was healthy coming in and put our work in, and I mean the bike has been pretty solid, pretty even, like the same for a while now, and he's super comfortable with it and knows everything that everything to expect from his motorcycle, and that's I think that's a key ingredient. Whenever you can know what your bike's going to do, that gives you all the confidence in the world. So I think that's probably the biggest thing.
He describes it as a low-stress situation, but it wasn't always that way. I mean, when Ken joined you guys and this collaboration came together, there was a lot of work done. There was a lot going into it. Did you ever dream, yourself, Larry, Dustin, did anybody ever dream that you would be in this position right now at this point?
Absolutely. I mean, I think all of us know that Ken Roczen is capable of anything, right? So, I mean, yeah, we for sure hoped that we were going to be in this position. So, I mean, yeah, here we are.
And now, not that there should be a plan, because whatever the plan has been, it's been working brilliantly. But where are we at? I mean, how do you go ahead and attack these final rounds now, knowing what an opportunity this is?
Just one at a time. Just keep at it, keep steady, and just keep going one at a time.
Well, everybody's enjoying it. We're all right behind you. And it's an absolutely fantastic story. So congratulations to you as well and the team. I know there's a lot of work gone into this.
Absolutely. It's been a blast, and I can't wait to see how it ends up.
Thank you.
Round 12 of Monster Energy AMA Supercross here in St. Louis. After last year, this venue got to see one of the SMX playoff rounds. Well, Supercross returned in 2026 with Ken Roczen being the most recent winner in Detroit a week ago and the fastest qualifier here in St. Louis.
If you didn't like what you saw in Detroit, you're not going to like what you see tonight. But what a start by Hunter Lawrence. Man, his first lap averages are so spectacular. But Kenny right there as well. Prado, no surprise, an incredible starter. And this track was brutal. But man, I thought Hunter had a good comeback from last year. But Prado, man, he was riding really, really well all day long. There he goes taking the lead. But check this out. Hunter Lawrence is going to get back into the lead. Kenny right there. Rarely do you see Kenny make a move like this right here. Comes up the inside, power move to take the lead and puts Hunter back to third position.
That set the tone to say, I'm here to win and win again. And that was it. Nobody got in front of Roczen after that. How about this though? Justin Cooper on the move.
Mad kudos to Justin Cooper. Just a fantastic ride. He won his heat race, but man, this guy was on rails, and I reckon if he was able to get by Hunter Lawrence a bit quicker in Prado, maybe he could have contested, just maybe, it's a big maybe, contested and gave Ken Roczen a little bit of a challenge, but riding exceptionally well. You want to talk about a really hard impact dip. I haven't seen one this hard in a long time. Chase Sexton I feel like he got confused of where he was at on the racetrack. No one had done that all day long. No one that I saw or JT. We were talking about it during the race, and hopefully Chase will be okay. Hate to see that.
He did not finish the race. He pulled off, went up the tunnel and back to the hauler. Meanwhile, Justin Cooper, there was no stopping Jay Coop because Jorge Prado was the next one on his list.
Well, and Prado made him work for it, but finally he stayed resilient. Justin Cooper was able to make the pass into second. Maybe sayonara. Now we look at Eli Tomac and just what is going on. There's Cooper Webb, three-time Supercross champ, going back. That put him into fifth position, I believe.
Sure did. And then Hunter Lawrence was trying to work on catching Justin Cooper for second, but that really kind of stopped his momentum.
Well, it did, but I think after listening to what Hunter had to say, oh, look, he tips over is there. A very difficult racetrack. He's still nursing that wrist injury from last week in Detroit. Nevertheless, a good run, but this guy, the man on a mission. You called it. Come back, Kenny.
Come back, Kenny, for sure. Back-to-back wins for the first time in 5 years for Suzuki's hero, Ken Roczen. And in his own words, he said he couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe that they did it again.
What a ride. The momentum that they have going, Lee. I mean, this is, again, it's going to come down to the wire.
So you know that it was a Roczen Cooper Lawrence podium. Well done, Jorge Prado. That was a promising ride. And that fifth for Cooper Webb keeps him within a race win of the championship lead.
Notable, Joey Savacci, incredible ride. He's still wounded. Also, Christian Craig, great job.
And Garrett Marchbanks got his third top 10 in a row.
Yep.
Really nice stuff. You got a feel for Chase Sexton. We showed you that brutal impact, and that was race done right there and then. So points, we couldn't ask for any more, folks. It's incredible. Tied at the top between Eli Tomac and Hunter Lawrence, the two riders who have enjoyed that red plate individually and now together, and Roczen is just 5 back.
This is something special, I will tell you.
Second 250 East-West Showdown of the year. Yes, we always look forward to the East-West Showdowns, bringing the best 250 riders in the country and the world all together under the one roof. It was a tough night for SMX World Champion Joe Shimoda.
Yeah, it is right here. There you go. First lap of the heat race. He puts his left foot down, gets involved in a collision, just a racing incident. He's going to injure his left, look like his ankle. He would eventually come out of the Alpine Star medical unit. There you go. And I just hate it for Joe, too. You think about that injury he had in the offseason, but how about this? The newly crowned 250 West Division champ. This guy put on a display.
He knew that there was some history on the line. He wanted to grab that. He wanted to take the fight to his teammate at Monster Energy star Yamaha, Cole Davies, after controversial circumstances in Birmingham, where the win was taken away from Hayden Deegan. So he wanted to get that one back that he rightfully felt was his, but he didn't get the whole shot. He was kind of boxed in there within the top half dozen or so.
Yeah, there he was, P5 right there. He tiptoes through this section. He's able to pick off a few positions while doing that. I think 1 or 2 positions. But man, what a race this was, and a dominant performance while grabbing and defending your championship. No surprise, especially when you think of Birmingham. I honestly thought, and I'm going to say it, I expected a little bit more from Cole Davies, just knowing the competitor that he is, but nevertheless still a quality ride. But look at that.
Nick Romano kind of came to an abrupt halt, and the door opened up for Hayden Deegan to go past not only Romano, but his Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki teammate Seth Hammaker.
And he goes to work. Hayden getting a good run through the whoops just as well. Cole didn't have a massive advantage there, but this man right here, Danger Boy Deegan, was just faster everywhere else. Look at that aggression and just absolutely sending it. Looked really comfortable. He blows by Cole Davies up the inside. This is where I thought Cole was going to try to contest, but he didn't have the pace. He tried to stick with it for a little bit. Max Anstey goes down. Remember, if Hayden won, Max at least had to get 5th to live to fight another day, and that wouldn't happen. Rough night for Max.
That made the point scenario a whole lot easier for this man, who would go on and successfully defend his 250 West Division title. Back-to-back champion, Hayden Deegan. And the fans loved it. Just the 3rd rider in history to clinch the 250 West title with 2 rounds still left. Let's go, and yes, he did. He really went. Deegan, Davies, Hammaker on the podium. But there's the champ. What a ride that was, with authority, in excess of 10 seconds. In fact, I think it was 15 seconds.
Well, yeah, it was a statement for sure. He left no doubt once again. But hey, a good ride for Cole also. And listen, Seth, he's double digits now on the points, but at the end of the day, still he's hanging in there. And we have a lot of races that we're going to. The rest are open air stadiums on the East Coast. Mother Nature, will it play a part? Hopefully not. Hopefully that isn't the circumstance. But man, this is going to be exciting.
All right, let's get you up to date with the point scenario after this East-West Showdown. And we start with the East. Ricky alluded to this. Cole Davies, he may have finished 2nd, but he extended his lead over Hammaker.
Yeah, he did, just by a couple points there. Notable right there, Daxton Bennick. With Joe Shimoda going out, Bennick's back in, and that was a great comeback from Bennick on the night. He was in the last chance qualifier, but going to be interesting to see what Seth brings, because he said he needs to hang it out a little bit more, and I agree with him. Obviously, he can't go over the limit, but we need more aggression if he wants to fight.
To the West Division point standings, well, we know what's at the top. Hayden Deegan, crowned champion by a whopping 57 points over Levi Kitchen and then Max Anstey.
Great opportunity for Anstey, DeFrancisco, and Levi Kitchen for that P2 position in the championship. Probably a lot of bonus money at stake right there, so keep an eye on that position right there for 2nd overall.
It's nice and tight, and remember, there's still 2 rounds to go in that 250 West Division title. All right, let's catch up with the Deegans with JT.
Hayden Deegan, big night. You walk it up with 2 rounds to go. You tie for 3rd all time in 250 wins. I know this is it's big to win these showdowns. So talk about like legacy. What does winning something like this mean?
Yeah, it's huge, especially when it 3 rounds early. They were talking to me, I think that's the last time since like the 90s someone's done that. So record book stuff we're doing over here, keeping that Deegan name alive. It's going good.
Well, Brian, I know you've got to watch this whole story from him being a little kid, backflipping in your yard to stuff like this. Walk us through that, because it wasn't that long ago. He is winning futures, but you take this step, nobody knows what to expect, and then he just rips off championship after championship to this day. What's that been like from your perspective?
If you really think back, like not long ago, 5, maybe even 10 years ago, we're at the local track at Paula, on a KTM 65 or 85, just dreaming, like literally saying, if I could just win one championship. And that was, I remember that video of him saying that. I'm just saying, I just remember driving to the track, doing what the families do in this sport, and thinking one day, if we could just make it to win a championship. And I think that mindset, that is just paid off. And the whole team, the whole group has worked so hard at it, and we've worked so hard at having a good circle around us. And, it's cool, and I think he's rewriting some history, not just with the records, but with new records, such as the biggest audience ever bringing it into a sport. By the first day pro, he already had millions of fans, which bring a lot of new fans to this sport, which is cool because we love the sport and we want to grow it and want it to be big. And I feel like that is one of the things we really try to do.
Congratulations to both of you. I know this is a big moment for you and a proud dad moment for you as well.
Very cool indeed. And so was this, the commitment and dedication from all the riders and teams in the Love Moto Stop Cancer this night, benefiting the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. By the way, all of the plastics that you see and a lot of the jerseys and helmets and different things will all be donated. Ricky's even donated some stuff to this auction that goes live on April 27 through May 11, all benefiting the kids.
Yeah, I mean, just an incredible partnership for a cause that is so special. No one deserves to go through that.
Updated manufacturer points. This is from tonight, and a pretty healthy night for Yamaha. Of course, winning the 2 heats, and then finishing first, second in the 250 East-West Showdown, and for Justin Cooper in the 450. How about title-wise, season long?
I mean, he's right there, and fighting for that 5th position. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how it plays out, and I'm so excited, and honestly, Diff, I don't know what to think when we go to these races other than let's just see what happens when we drop the gate.
Yeah, sure. And speaking of dropping the gate, next week the gate will drop in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
You're going to kick it off on Friday night with the whole shot challenge with the King, Jeremy McGrath, and a star-studded lineup. But what are you, before we say farewell, what are your thoughts on Nashville next weekend?
Yeah, so East Coast 250.
Yep.
What can Hammaker do? I liked what he said about he needs to bring it a little bit more and lay it out on the track. I agree with that. I mean, now listen, there's a line that you don't want to cross, but he needs to send it a little bit more and see if he can pressure Cole Davies and see if Cole, you can get him off of the track that he's on. So that's what I'm looking forward to on the 250. Now I go back to the 450, and we talked about it a little bit on our calls early in the year, and you asking what I'm looking forward to. I'm watching the title contenders and seeing which guy is going to cough up the ball first, really. I mean, you have to be almost nearly perfect right now at this time of the year. What is Mother Nature going to do as well? I think about that as well. Hopefully you take that out of it. I just want to see how perfect these guys are going to be, and that's what it's going to take to win this championship. They all are fast, okay, and they do so many things well. As far as Eli Tomac goes, I know he shares that red plate diff, but he's got to turn this thing around. I mean, it ain't no secret at this stage. I'm gonna go ahead and say it right here. Something ain't gelling. Right. You can call it a mid-season like little a hiccup or something like that, but it's time to get it turned around, because the momentum that Ken Roczen has and the momentum that Hunter Lawrence has, I think Hunter knows where he's at and he feels confident. It's time to turn it around.
And just 5 to go. 5 rounds left as far as the Supercross portion of the SMX World Championship. Well, you heard Ken and just about every rider talk about this track, and that's where we're going to take you right now with JT.
Thank you, Lee. And yeah, it's all over, but the crying down here and this track, is absolutely blown out. And now that I'm down here, I understand what they're talking about. And Seth Hammaker saying it's the toughest racetrack he's ever had to compete on. And yes, I'm standing in the whoops. And yes, I'm often standing in the whoops on this Insider Post Show, but for good reason. Now, I'm going to show you the main line, like right down the middle of the rhythm section where most of the guys were going. Guys like Jorge Prado, guys like Cooper Webb, they wanted to use this rut. And you just see me step down into it. And this is basically where they were. And they were kind of hop, skip, and a jump through this main line. That's not what Ken Roczen wanted to do, though. And this is really guys leaning into what they do well. Kenny wants the blitz. He doesn't want to be in this rut and hopping through there. He wants the blitz with speed. So he was cutting down early in the corner, getting all the way back to his inside, which is really, it's a little unorthodox because you have to go so much slower in the corner, but it allows him to open up the speed down through the whoops. So follow me along. I'm going to go all the way to the inside, the most difficult area of the racetrack to get back to, but you can see it's a little bit higher here. It's a little bit more consistent, and Kenny was blitzing across here, especially early in those opening laps where he's so he's just ferocious there, right? He is so capable of building up a big lead, but it's using lines like this. You never would have seen Cooper Webb over here. You wouldn't have seen guys like that, but this is where Ken Roczen on a track like this was able to build up. Even if it wasn't the 14-second lead he got late, that 5-second cushion that really decided the race. It's lines like this that other guys don't want to use that he was able to utilize to get that lead.
Hey, that's a great report, JT. But listen, you've raced Monster Energy Supercross just as long as I did, and you're down on that track. And when you see these championship contenders right now, and I'm going to ask you, like, what do you expect to see when you go to Nashville? Like, what do you expect from Kenny? What do you think about Hunter? Like, where is your position on the championship guys right now?
Well, momentum is a powerful force, and I always, I'm a big believer that momentum is double-sided. It can go both ways, and you see how powerful it is for Kenny. And look at that line I was talking about him using up on the right side all the way against the tough blocks, and he is just making hay while the sun shines there. Even though he's getting a little loose, he is turning really quick lap times there. But back to the momentum thing, Kenny has all of it. And Eli is suffering from the negative side of momentum where things are snowballing in the wrong direction. Look at his results. Forget about the form, which I think is more problematic, but you could just push that aside. The result of 3, 5, 6 is trending the wrong direction at arguably the most pivotal time in this championship. So I love what you said about 2 minutes ago where Eli, that mid-season slump that he's claiming, if he doesn't crawl his way out of that, the championship is going to be long gone. And we talked about this during the week, Ricky. Yes, it's fine. And I talked to Will Christian. She's like, well, he's managing things. And I'm like, yes, that's true. But you keep throwing up 5s and 6s on the board, and the championship's going to be gone before you know it.
Thanks, JT.
Thanks.
Well, speaking from track here in St. Louis to the track in Nashville, Tennessee.
Look at that. We haven't seen it in a while.
The sand is
sand
back.
section. It looks similar to this past weekend.
It does,
other
actually.
than the back and forth on the start straight, if you think about it.
Yep.
Left-hand start, rhythm lane, you turn right, you got some whoops along the exterior part of the floor, and then they turn right in that sand section. Going to be a lot of fun to watch there. Then they dart back across and go backwards on the start straight into a 180 corner. I'm not a fan of the 90-degree corners because I feel like it develops into a one-line track, but there's some good 180 corners that I feel that we will see some fasten. But again, execution is going to be absolutely crucial. And what is Eli Tomac going to do? Is he going to be the guy that we saw starting at round 1 in Anaheim? That's what I'm looking forward to. It's going to be fun to get to Nashville next week.
Here is the upcoming schedule, and we have just had it confirmed that this is the closest this championship has ever been amongst 3 riders after 12 rounds. 5 points blanketing 3 riders with 5 to go. That is awesome. Hey, the theme continues. Game on, like we said. A reminder, these are afternoon races in Nashville and in Cleveland, 3 p.m. Eastern on network television on NBC. Exciting few weeks coming up, that is for sure. We'll see you from Music City next weekend. But what a night here in St. Louis. It's big time for Hayden Deegan, a 2-time Western Division champion, and Ken Roczen, back-to-back wins for the first time in 5 years. And his fan base, they're daring to dream. 3 in a row. Can Kenny do it? We'll see you next weekend in Nashville to find out.